Hi everyone, so this one is a continuation of what we had earlier since we did not finish it, so I have to make this video so that you're going to have an idea of how the fundamental properties of proportion is being used in solving problems. Alright, so this was given earlier, if you could remember. So from the given m is to n equals 4 is to 3, you have to find 3m minus 2n is to 3m plus n. So quite complicated, right? So let's look at our given. So our given is m is to n. Wait, let me use this one. So our given is m is to n. Oh my god. Okay, this one here. So this was our given. So by the fundamental rule of proportion, we can write them in fraction form. So we can have it just like this one here. So m over n, or m to n, is equal to 4 to 3. Okay, so by cross multiplication, we're going to multiply m times 3 and n times 4. So we're going to have 3m equals 4n. Now, to solve for m only, so we will divide both sides by 3. Therefore, m is 4n over 3. Now, since we're going to find 3m minus 2n over 3m plus n, so we're going to put it here. And then, since m is 4n over 3, so substitute. So we now have this one here by substitution. Now, 3 times 4 is 12. And then, divided by 3, that is 4. So what remains here is just 4n. And then just copy minus 2n. Okay? Then, similarly, if we're going to multiply the denominators, say here we have 3 times 4n. So 3 times 4 is 12, divided by 3, that's 4. So it's over 4n plus n. Now combining like terms, we have 4n minus 2n is 2n. And then 3n plus n is 5n. So we can now eliminate n. We can cancel out n. So the correct answer is 2 over 5 or 2 is to 5. Okay? So let's move on to this group task that you have. So how did we find y over s if 5y minus 2s is to 10 is equal to 3y minus s is to 7? So if you could remember, the correct answer was 4/5. How did we got 4/5? Here's the solution. Okay, so from the given that we have, wait, let me change the color first. So from the given that we have on for a while, so we have here this one as our given. So we're going to write them as a fraction by the fundamental rule of proportion. Now, after that, just cross multiply. So 7 times 5y minus 2s, and then 10 times 3y minus s. Okay, so by cross multiplication, we got this. And then 7 times 5 is 35y, while 7 times negative 2s is negative 14s. Do the same thing here. 10 times 3y is 30y, and then 10 times negative s is negative 10s. Okay? And then, transpose this y to the right side, or the left side, I mean, of the equation, and also this 14s to this side of the equation here. So we are going to have this one. And then combining like terms, we have 35y minus 30y is of course 5y, while 14s minus 10s is 4s. Now, since we're going to solve for y over s, the the presentation earlier, the example given, is solving for y. But since we're going to find for y over s, we can simply divide both by 5s. Why? Because by virtue of dividing 5s, we can eliminate right away this 5. Okay, we can cancel out 5 and end up with y over s only. And also, we can cancel out s on the other side. So we can cancel s here and then come up with 4 over 5. Okay, so there you go. The ratio of y to s is 4 to 5. Okay? Okay, another example presented was this one here. If e and b represent two non-zero numbers, find the ratio of e to b if 2e squared plus eb minus 3b squared equals 0. So what you're going to do is to go back and use your knowledge on factoring. So since our given is this one, we need to factor out this. Okay, so to factor this out, of course, we need to divide the first term first. So 2e squared has a factor of e and 2e. Because when we multiply them, we have 2e squared. And then last term, let's factor this out. So that's just simply negative 3 and 1. Now, since our negative 3b and b, okay, so you can have the trial and error method and then come up with these factors now. So we have e minus b times 2e plus 3b equals 0. But then by the zero product property, each factor, this one here, is being equated to 0. So equate each factor to 0. Another factor is here. Okay. Similarly, it is being equated to 0. Okay, that's by the zero product property. Now, transposing negative b to the other side will give us b. So, we now have e equals b. Therefore, if we're going to get the ratio of e to b, then it must be 1:1, since e is equal to b. Okay, now let's solve for the other values, no? So 2e plus 3b equals 0. So transposing this to the other side, we will have negative 3b. And then, since we will be looking for e to b, so we can divide both by 2b. So that, just like our example earlier, we can eliminate this and this and come up with eb na lang. Okay? Now, negative 3b over 2b, we can cancel out b here. So we will end up with negative 3 over 2. Therefore, the ratio of e to b is negative 3 over 2 or 1 over 1. So there are two answers. Okay? Now your task is to find or to solve for the ratio of u to v if u squared plus 3uv minus 10v squared equals 0. So just like the first one, just like the example presented, what you're going to do is, by the way, this is the correct answer, no? So what are we going to do? So we need to solve by factoring out u squared plus 3uv minus 10v squared. And to factor that out, we will come up with these factors. Alright? So the factors of u squared is just u and u. And then the factors of negative 10 is of course 5 and 2. And 5 must be placed in positive since we have positive middle term. So that's why we have positive 5 and negative 2. And then by the zero product property, equate each factor to 0. Then let's proceed with this one, this first factor. So transposing 5 to the other side will give us u equals negative 5. Now, since we'll be looking for the ratio of u is to v or u to v, then we can divide both by v. Okay? So we will come up with negative 5v over v, wherein we can cancel out v and v and end up with the ratio of u to v as negative 5, since we do not have any number below, so we can just put 1. Okay, so the correct answer is negative 5 over 1. Okay, that's the first answer. Now let's have the other factors. Transposing negative 2v to the other side will give us u equals to v, and just like what we did here in the first factor, we will divide both sides by v. Okay, so we will come up with u to v is equal to, cancel out v. So what remain is only 2. So para it forms a ratio, you just put 1 below. Okay, so the correct answer is 2 over 1. So we now have here our final answer. Okay, another example presented, this one, find the value of x in x minus 1 is to 2x plus 1 equals 4 is to 11. By the fundamental rule of proportion, we can write all of this given into fraction form. So we now have x minus 1 over 2x plus 1 equal to 4 over 11. And then cross multiply. So you have 11 times x minus 1 and 4 times 2x plus 1. Now, by the distributive property, 11 times x is 11x, while 11 times negative 1 is negative 11. Now, 4 times 2x is 4 times 2x is 8x, and 4 times 1 is 4. So, combining like terms, we have to transpose this 8x to the other side, so it will become negative. And negative 11 also, transpose it on the other side, so it becomes positive. So 11x minus 8x is 3x, while 4 plus 11 is 15. Then by dividing both sides by 3, would result to x equals 5. Okay, problem solved. Another task that you have to do is this one. So similar, what's the answer ba? Okay, how did we find 2? Alright, so here's the solution. So the given here can be written in fraction form by the fundamental rule of proportion. So we will have 5 over 4 equals 3x plus 4 over 5x minus 2. And then, by cross multiplication, we will multiply 5 by 5x minus 2 and 4 by 3x plus 4. Okay, cross multiply. Then 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. Okay, and that is what you're going to do here also on the other side. So 4 times 3 is 12x, then 4 times 4 is 16. Combining like terms, transpose 12x here, okay, and transpose negative 10 also here, okay, mag-exchange sila, no? So we will have 25x minus 12x, and then 10, positive 10 na, plus 16. 25x minus 12x is 13x, while 10 plus 16 is 26. And then dividing both by 13, we have x equals 2. Alright, so another example. How high is a tree? This is now a word problem, no? How high is a tree that casts a shadow of 4 meters if at the same time a 9-meter flagpole casts a shadow of 5 meters? So here, the proportion is still need to be find out. Okay, So let x be the height of the tree because it is, I think it's what the problem is asking for. So how high? So it's the height of the tree. And then you can have x is to 4 meter shadow, and that is equivalent to a flagpole of 9 meters to 5 meters. So we have x is to 4 and 9 is to 5. Okay? Then by the fundamental rule, you can write them as fractions, and then by cross multiplication, you can have x times 5, 5x, and 4 times 9, 36. Now, dividing both by 5 will give you 7.2 meters. Okay? It's the height of the tree. Alright? Another one. 6 meters of wire weigh 1.4 kilograms. How much does 100 meter of wire weigh? What's the answer here? So how did we arrive with 23.33 kilograms? So let's check the solution. Okay, we need to make a proportion first. Okay, so the proportion, pero how much? So we need to let x muna, wait, wala, nagdiretso lang siya. So, let x be the weight of a 100 meter wire. Okay? So, 6 meters is to 1.4 kilograms, while 100 meters is to x. Okay? Di siya gikan 6 is to 1.4. Since meters ang una gi-mention, so you will also put meters una, and then ang weight niya nga unknown, which is x. Okay? And then cross multiply, you have 6 times x, 6x, and then 100 times 1.4. 100 times 1.4 is 140. Divide both sides by 6. You will come up with 23.33 kilograms. Okay.